Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Okay. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate your support so much. As always, okay. All of my old subscribers, new subscribers, and future subscribers, okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about what I had heard. Of course, a lot of my subscribers, we go into the members and they drop a lot of jewels. I'm sure a lot of people know that, okay. And yesterday was like any other day, we went into the members after I got off of live and my subscribers started dropping gems, as it relates to the war that is going on around the Memphis area. Now, um, some of these people, I had been heard about, but you talking about all of the heinous crimes and things of that nature that is going on around the city of Memphis is absolutely genocide, right? And I think it is devastating that our people, Black people, can be so desensitized to just taking out another um, Black person, okay? I think because of what has been going on, I've just gone back to the basics. Before my dad passed away, I mean, I loved, just because he taught me this to go and read about my history, right? And I've been saying I got to get back to that, just reading about what our ancestors, how great they were, what they went through. Just keeping in mind, not forgetting the history that they try so hard to erase, right? And so, when I start looking at what is going on, it's all over the world, but especially around the Memphis area. It is devastating because, every time you hear about this genocide that is happening, I understand that it is engineered. But when you hear about rappers that could make it out and have made it out, that is sending destruction back to the areas that they grew up in, it is absolutely devastating, right? And shout out to Great Face, one of my subscribers, who is very resourceful, very helpful um, in what he does. He bought 20 subscriptions of my members for 20 of my subscribers that didn't have memberships yesterday. I appreciate that. I appreciate what everybody does, right? But he had said, he was like, when are you going into the members? Okay, so that I can tell you about, so we could talk about who it is that is got this war going on where people are just dying in record numbers. What is going on in Memphis is absolutely sadistic and sad, okay? And so, a couple of these people I had already heard of. I didn't know how bad it was, but I heard of them, and this particular rapper's name has been coming up quite a bit, in the streets of Memphis and within law enforcement. Okay. And it's so sad because Big 30 is one of those rappers. I remember when I first saw Big 30, Big 30 would smile, right? And his eyes would light up. And I was like, dog, that's a young guy who's when he smiles, his eyes light up. He's just got a happy smile. It seemed like a genuine smile when your eyes and stuff light up. And that was right around the time that I first started vlogging, and he signed with Brett Gang. And I remember because his smile got my attention. He seemed excited, and going back and looking at videos of before all of this stuff happened. Um, all of these beefs and stuff started happening before Young Dolph was assassinated. He was doing an interview, I believe, with Teleferro or somebody. And Teleferro was asking him about rappers around the Memphis area. and that he enjoyed, that he messed with. And two of the first names that he said, and his eyes lit up, was, yeah, you got Key Glock, you got Young Dolph. He seemed extremely happy when he was, talking about them. Um, and he Teleferro asked him about Black Youngster. He said, yeah, that's on the other side of South Memphis, but yeah, he is a South Memphis rapper. He seemed, you could tell in that interview, he had no beefs with Key Glock and Young Dolph at that time, right? And so I remember when, was with Brett Gang. He could have already had just signed with Brett Gang. I was like, I hope that this young man with that smile that lights up, his eyes light up. I said, you could tell he's got some people that pray for him, right? His eyes light up. I hope he does not allow darkness to infiltrate that. Okay. And after a while, some unfortunate things happened. Newski, who was his cousin, you could tell that he was extremely hurt about Newski. But you hear, when you start listen to people now, they was going, but he was already, out there doing things. It just got worse when Newski unfortunately passed away, and it's like he turned into, I know that light in his eyes left. According to the people, he turned extremely sadistic, right? And so the reason I decided to do this blog is because I'm not on here to, um, I'm not on here to be accusatory or to come down hard on Big 30 or anything like that. But I do want to talk about this because genocide is being committed in his hometown. And you're hearing people say that he is the number one person behind it. If they ever get him, and it goes back to what I was saying the other day, and it almost came out because I had been hearing in law enforcement his name and Big Homie G's name, right? Big Homie G is quieter, he seems to be a little bit more humbled and all of that. But I had heard some things about him too. And even before the people started coming into my members and stuff talking about Big 30 and bringing his name up with what allegedly him being behind what allegedly had happened in Orange Mound and all of that. I didn't want to believe that. And I think I just wanted to, I don't know, was a lot of these young men. I know people try to say that I'm partial, to Jizzle and all of them. I'm not partial to them. I want to see all of these little young brothers do well. But but people started talking about that, hey, not just my subscribers, but I was listening to something the other day as it relates to law enforcement, and I almost said it when his name came up before my subscriber is them ever even said anything, and people started coming into my comments, right? His name came up as it relates to that, right? And I think that it's a darn shame when you have rappers that make it out of the hoods and they send destruction back, right? And I have no way of knowing, why law enforcement or why people on the street is saying that if when Big 30 has got a lot of these killings, this genocide will stop. I think that's devastating because I definitely wanted to see Big 30 do well. And I hope that it is not true, but people on the street is saying that if when Big 30 is arrested, a lot of the genocide will stop. Now, Big 30 came from an area that I grew up in around the Whitehaven area, and hey, the Mill Creek apartments were. I remember when they first put them up because I'm older than Big 30 and them. They was called the Windsors, and so it was a nice area. Nothing but like teachers and stuff lived over there. It was not bad yet. And then shortly after that, they built the King Gates behind them and the King's Gates behind them. And I think the King's Gates are now closed. They, taking them down. But I remember all of that, and those apartments were really nice. But with Big 30 being a rapper, Big 30, people talk about Big 30 put out good music and things of that nature. He does, he could really, really go far, right? And it's sad to hear that he and allegedly Little Migos are putting these young dudes up to go and commit genocide in their community, right? It's so sad. I hate even doing vlogs about things of this nature when you have young men that have promising careers, but yet law enforcement is looking. And you have to understand, law enforcement and the FBI and all of them don't look to just take down people that are rappers just because they're successful and all of that. But if this is true, what I'm hearing, then they have no choice. Genocide is being committed, and I pray to God. It is alleged, that what happened in Orange Mound, where innocent people were hit up, it came from one of them, allegedly. With the way that people have supported them around the Memphis area, and they send destruction back like this, where innocent people were hit up, people were taken out. That was careless, reckless, and evil. Okay. And with Big 30 having a lot of potential, he's got a lot of potential. He's in, right? He has a lot of potential. It's sad to hear a young man or to think that, law enforcement may be working to put a young man in jail for the rest of his life that could actually be doing well, or to have put other young men up under him, because Big 30 has enough money where he don't have to live in the hood. Lamigo do too. Okay, they don't have to live in the hood. Okay, so it would be sad to believe that they're putting other young men who are still in the hood in positions where either they or their family members will have retaliatory situations, right? Because see, they can pay them a little bit of money, but they still got to go back to the hood, right? And so if I to think that people could even live with themselves all because they want to prove that they are something that they are not. As I said, Big 30 nor Lil Migos money together would not be long enough to go up against the federal government. They can't do it. Even if Gotti and the rest of them put money in, you can't go up against a system that can't run out of money. You've already lost, right? And so when you start hearing these murmurs, and I promise you, I almost said something the other day because I had heard something, right? Because I had been working downtown. It's just sad to see that. And so you hear people saying that, allegedly Big 30 is the new straight drop, except for he just pay other young men to go do things for him and ultimately get his own people taken out, because you got to know when you do things of that nature, they're going to be retaliated against. And so it was sad to hear that they are doing all of this because they're wanting to do anything to get at ceojizzle for whatever reasons. I'm hearing that's what all of this about. I've heard on both sides that it is in the atmosphere that they're going to continuously commit genocide in the city of Memphis until they take out ceojizzle, which is a sad thing, because what happened over in Orange Mound is heinous in nature. Okay. And so I think about, what one of those, a young man called the other day, and he was saying, he kind of had me tickled because he took me by surprise when he said, head, endless head, he said, I need to interview them because they're doing a lot of great things in the community. Well, I do know that CEO 30 is up under head in them, up under a money bag and all of them. Okay. So this would be the opportunity if they're giving back to the community. They got to know if this is true, what is going on. This will be the opportunity to give back to the community by putting a halt on this genocide that is allegedly coming from out of their record label. That would be the first thing. What good is to give back if you taking, you're allowing lives and stuff to be taken, and it's coming from your camp, right? And you're not stopping it. That makes you even worse, okay? Because if people are up under your leadership, up under your company and all of that, that means you are ultimately funding genocide in the Black community, right? So but that's the word on the Memphis streets, that rapper Big 30 can help to stop a lot of this these heinous unalivings that's going on, because it is alleged that he is in at war with some more people, and that is why this is going on. Hey, I have to say allegedly, but I know my subscribers, they be out in the streets of Memphis, and I don't know what law enforcement got Big 30 name in their mouths. I don't know if it's something that they've tapped into, because the word on the streets is that there's a RICO going on. Okay, so I don't know if it's something that they've tapped into, or they've got people that have informed them of this. Either way it goes, it is so sad, because I would hate to see Big 30 go to jail for life. I would hate to see little Migos go to jail for life, or get the little dudes up under them. They should care enough about them, because those are the ones that's being sent out to not put them in positions where they're either going to go down for life to the pen, or go to the grave for life. That's what those are the only two options that they're giving these little dudes. And then they'll turn around and say, I got nothing but love for them. But you giving them two options: either go to jail for life or go to the grave for life. That ain't no love. You ain't helping them. You're hurting them, and you're hurting your very own community. But anyways, that's what they're saying that's what's the rumor in the Memphis streets. And I hope not. But if it is, I remember seeing a light in Big 30's eyes. So I know that there's got to be some God somewhere on the inside of him. Hey, I don't think if allegedly it's ceojizzle that he's after, if he by chance succeed, him and Lil Migo succeed in trying to hurt ceojizzle, and the folks already know what's going on, they gotta know that when the feds finish with them, everybody, Black Youngster, Endless, all of them, they're going to disassociate themselves from them, because then the feds gonna start going after them. Okay, and they're gonna end up just like Straight Drop. Right. And then there are going to be retaliatory situations. And so that's why I say, if this is true, I hope that God can touch Big 30's heart. And think about it has been the people in the hood, the citizens of Memphis, that have helped him to get to where he is. And I think it's a darn shame, if this is true, allegedly, for him to be sending destruction and death of his own people. Because when you summons or pay somebody to go and do some other stuff that these people are alleging that they're doing, you're summoning your own man's death, right? Because you got to know there are going to be retaliatory situations. While he probably is not even living in Memphis. That's not even fair to his family members, let alone the little dudes that are already misguided around him. You would think if he was blessed, God has blessed him, that he would be more responsible. He's making more money than he's ever made. He's in a position that he's never been in. And yet he's sending destruction back to the people, which are the citizens that help him to get into that Memphis position. Memphis is in a state of emergency. And I think it's a darn shame, rappers, that Memphians and citizens have to put on. This is the payback that they give when they know people are already suffering. So you believe that you would be able to, if this is true, they believe, I'm a summons up what they're saying. They believe that they would be able to pay to have people to consistently go and take out people that are around ceojizzle until they get ceojizzle, and they think the feds ain't gonna get them. causing retaliatory situations to these young fools who don't have no sense at all. They already don't have any guidance because a lot of them are really young and wet behind the ear. And instead of being a role model to them, you set them up for destruction. They ain't even living to be 30. Right? So, hey, if this is true, I'm asking, as a person that was born and raised in Memphis, that big 30, go back to the altar. Because I hate the big 30 got children. And if your name is ringing in law enforcement, you ain't going to be out with them. If what they're saying that you're doing is true, you won't be out. You're not going to be out with them. You won't even see them grow up. Okay? Because not on the outside. And then you so I'm asking if this is true for him to stop it, to stop it and care about the city that helped to put him on. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But that's those are the words on the streets of Memphis and in law enforcement. Okay, and like I said, it's sad when people say that they feel like a young man who has a promising career has flipped completely and become extremely barbaric. And it's sad with all of the stuff that's happening in Memphis. And his name is coming up as being one of the main ones behind all of this brutal, evil stuff. I think these young men owe Memphis more than that. Okay, so hopefully, I have to say allegedly, but when you hear law enforcement say it, they have a reason to say it. When you hear other people say, many people say, if they can stop, if they hurry up and get big 30, this is what they're saying, and I have to say allegedly, then genocide in the streets of Memphis will stop. That's a heavy jacket to have on your back. That's evil, real evil. But hey, we'll see. That's the reasons why I say, y'all, hey, we can't, when we want to stand with our young men and stuff, but when they're destroying our community, we have to take our hands off of it. And to hear this about a young man that has had a promising career, right? Made it out of the projects. And I know those projects very well because I grew up in Whitehaven. And to hear this is very sad. Okay. But anyways, I wanted to talk about that. Hopefully Big 30 will see this and his heart will be convicted, because he got to understand that he can't, if allegedly this is what they're saying, he can't continuously take out people that is around ceojizzle until they get to ceojizzle. And then every action has a reaction. You too, let me go, because your name ringing too again. Okay. But hey, hopefully these young men and the young men around them open their eyes up. But I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App.